Pleased to be joined on the call by the head coach at Villanova, Mark Ferrante. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Rob. How we doing today, bud?
I'm well. Congratulations to you and your guys. Finished the season on an 8-game winning streak, 34-10 win over Sacred Heart. Um, Talk about what it was like yesterday when you see your name on the screen and what it was like for your guys.
Yeah, our guys were excited. We had our normal Sunday, hoping that we were going to hear our names. So we got them in the weight room in the morning, get the soreness and everything out from the game the day before. And then we had a nice brunch together. And then we sat down, listened to the selection show down in the pavilion. And when our name came up, our guys got pretty excited because you never know this day and age. We're hoping we'd get there. We're hoping for a home game. And both things happened. So our guys were super excited, and now it's back to business as usual, and it's game week. So we're excited about that as well.
You guys have closed the season. You were 1-2 and closed the season with 8 straight wins. Dominant win on Saturday against Sacred Heart. What do you feel like your team has done so well to be able to reel off that kind of winning streak?
Well, I think there's a number of different things, Rob. We talked about it from the early part of the season. In some positions, we had quite a bit of experience coming back, and then in other positions, we were really new, especially the secondary. And then whenever you have a new quarterback come in, as we got Pat from Nichols, it's going to take some time. And when you play a number two team in the FBS in the country at the time, and then face someone with the explosive offensive power that Monmouth has early in the season, the secondary is definitely tested. And, whenever you play an FBS opponent, regardless of who it is, but when it's a Big Ten opponent, you're going to be tested there as well. And it just took time for the guys to start learning how to play complementary football. It took our guys time to learn how to play together on each side in all three phases, special teams as well. And, I think it took Pat a little while to, become himself. He's not going to come in here and, start commanding the leadership qualities that he has maybe when he first gets here. But as the season progressed and as he's earning his stripes, so to speak, and as he's gaining the respect of his teammates, I think he's done a really good job becoming him. And he's done a real nice job. And it takes time. Him and Luke, we talked about the, timing that they've developed, but that comes with game day experiences. You do what you can in practice, but there's nothing like game day experience. So the longer you play together and the more you play together, and when you face adversity together, like we did in a few of those games and so on, the locker room's in a good place right now. I think our chemistry is really good. All that youth and inexperience that we had now has gained a lot of experience. We have got banged up in a couple spots, but some of the guys that have filled in have done a really phenomenal job. So we do have some depth in certain spots now. And the team has played complementary football. We're feeding off of each other. The defense, this past week we gave up a fumble inside our 20-yard line or inside our 25 on the first play from scrimmage or second play from scrimmage, and our defense held them to a field goal. So sudden change, keep them out of the end zone, and then right after that, our offense, gets excited because they hold them to 3 instead of allowing them to get 7. And then we go down and, put some points on the board and so on. So we're just playing better complementary football right now. And we're protecting the football. I think Pat's only thrown 2 interceptions. I think we only have 5 total turnovers for the whole year, which is pretty remarkable because, if you get 1 a game, you're pretty happy, with a total of 11, and we have a total of 5 turnovers right now. So protecting the football is the key, and we've been doing a pretty good job at that.
Question for you this morning from Tiffany. Good morning, Tiffany.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Tiffany.
Talk to me a little bit about, first of all, congratulations, and talk to me a little about the identity of your team this season and what's made your team so great this season.
Well, we talk about that all the time. We have certain foundational things that we have had in this program for quite some time. So everyone kind of learns what that is as they're in the program. But then I think this team really found their identity after the Monmouth loss. I think they were searching for it early on. And we talk about this, and I've mentioned this on this call before. No matter how many returning stars you have and how much experience you have from one year to the next, each team is still going to be a little different. You got to have some guys graduating, you have new freshmen coming in, and in today's world, you have a handful of transfers. We don't lose a lot, but we do bring in some. So you have new people in there. And I don't think early in the season they knew what their identity was. But this year, after the two losses that we had, I think they all got together in the locker room and said, you know what, enough is enough. We got to come together. And one thing they've been breaking down on, whether that's their identity or not, but one of the things they've been breaking down on in the locker room, before games, after games, in the tunnel, coming out pregame, is protect the brand. So basically, protect the V. They're all playing for the V, and that's something that they talk about a lot now. And that didn't really come to fruition until after the Monmouth game. So whether that's really the secret sauce that we needed to get us going, I don't know, but it seems to be going in a good direction right now. So as long as they want to continue to have the rallying cry of protect the brand, I'm all in and we're going that way. So I think that's something that they realized. Like I said, we had two back-to-back games. We gave up 50 points, and that's not our defense's identity, and that's not our team's identity. And I think that was something that really put them over the edge. And I know they had a team-only meeting after that game, and that's kind of what they came back with. And that's been something that I've been hearing from them for the last 8 weeks.
Mark, Harvard coming to Villanova on Saturday, first time ever for the Ivy in the playoffs, and Harvard was a 9-0 team before that loss Saturday to Yale. Give me your impressions on their team, what they do well, and then just having a member of the Ivy League in the FCS playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Ivy League football teams going to playoffs, that was always a head scratcher to me anyway, because other sports in the Ivy League do get into postseason play. And if you look at the sport of football versus just about every other sport, we probably miss the least amount of class time because, we have 5 away games, maybe 6, and then 5 home games. So as opposed to like a basketball who could be gone Tuesday and Friday or something like that. So I don't know the reason that it's taken this long for the Ivy League presidents and ADs to decide to get into the playoffs, but I'm sure their team and their players are real excited about it. So I know they're going to come in here with a lot of energy, a lot of juice. I can't give you a great breakdown right now personnel wise. Obviously, we haven't played an Ivy League team since I believe 2015. And so we don't get a lot of crossover film on them. We haven't really seen them in any of our opponent film this year. So we're just trying to hammer out the film as best we can. I know they have over 100 guys on the roster, but that's nothing new for us. We always have one of the smaller rosters, no matter who we're playing. And I know they got a lot of guys that, go to the next level. I mean, I know because of the COVID thing, that kind of flipped things on the Ivy League a little bit. They started losing guys to the FBS because they could get their Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and Ivy League degrees and still have 2 years of eligibility left. And I know there was a couple guys we were recruiting, and one of them ended up at Duke, one of them ended up at Minnesota. So I know they have really good players. Being the academic school that we are, we do kind of go head to head with them from time to time on certain guys, depending on what area of the country we're talking about. And they're a hard school to beat in recruiting. They have a lot going, academically, athletically, all that stuff. A lot of the stuff that we talk about, networking you properly for when football does end, you get an opportunity to have a great career, go on and be a great dad, a great husband, a great man in your community. And those are things that we talk about as well. They have good players. I know they have a really good quarterback but I haven't really watched that film yet. I've been focusing on special teams last night into this morning, and we'll have a meeting this afternoon and take a little deeper dive into individual personnel. But I know they're a really good team, and you don't go 9-0. I know they're going to be really hungry to, avenge their loss that they had last week. And they would love nothing more than to take it out on the Villanova Wildcats. So I'm just glad we're home. So we don't have to travel. It's always a little different when it's a holiday weekend. So, playing this weekend, always puts a little more wrinkle into it. It's just a little different, thing you got to deal with in a regular week game preparation, but we try to keep everything as constant and consistent as we possibly can. So right now, Rob, as far as yesterday, today, and into tomorrow morning's practice, we got to focus on what we're doing and the mistakes we made from Saturday and try to correct those so we don't make them again as we're preparing for the personnel that we're going to face this coming Saturday. And now, as we always say, from one week to the next, let's try to go 1-0 this week. Well, now you better go 1-0 this week if you want to see another week. So no more guaranteed games. So we're hoping we can get to 1-0 this week.
All right, Mark, thanks so much for taking time to do this today. Good luck on Saturday against Harvard, and hope we're talking again next Monday.
Appreciate it, Rob. Thanks so much for everything you guys do.
All right. Thanks, Mark. That concludes our media conference for today. Appreciate the